Hi, welcome to, where I live. Do you know, it was a few months ago, quite a lot of big things came at us after Gemma died. They talk a lot in grief and when you lose someone about all the big firsts, and we had quite a lot in the first few weeks. We had Christmas very shortly afterwards. Then came my birthday, then came Valentine's Day, although Gemma didn't really do Valentine's Day, so I guess that wasn't so big. But then came Mother's Day. And all of those, for different reasons, were really hard, but at the heart of it was obviously missing Gemma. And I sat with some friends, Dave and Debs, in the days after Mothering Sunday, and they said, what's the next kind of big milestone you've got to get through? And I thought about it, and then I realised it was Gemma's birthday would be the next one. And that's this weekend. And I sat there and thought, what on earth do we do? You know, do we just mope around for the weekend? Do we feel sorry for ourselves? Do we just remain sad? I just feel with a lot of what you go through when this happens to you is that sometimes it requires a lot of energy and effort and emotional effort. You just want to turn a negative into a positive. And last year in July, we celebrated their 40th birthday, which was in May, but we did a big party in July in the garden here. And it was just an amazing night. We had, just everything. We wanted music, fun, laughter, love, friends, just everything was amazing about it. And I just thought back to that day and I thought, why don't I do it again? It's not going to be the same, obviously, but why don't I make her birthday weekend something that she'd have loved, something that she'd have enjoyed? So basically, that's what I'm doing. And as part of it, myself and Ethan have planted a tree in memory of Mum that's just outside our garden. So in years to come, if we're not living here anymore, Ethan can always come back to it and remember Mum, remember the memories of Mummy here at our house. And yeah, we're going to do that this weekend. And we've got loads of friends coming. And I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be very, very hard. But do you know what? I'm just glad we're doing something. We're glad we're doing something. So this, I guess, is the story, not all of it, of this weekend. And all about turning a negative into a positive. Not moping, but hoping. That's so bad. That is so bad. But I'm going to go with it. But it's kind of that. That's hope is what keeps me going. It's what keeps Ethan going. You know, it is hope. Hope that life can still be good despite the big hole that Gemma's left. Anyway, stand by. Run VT. So this is the tree. And it sits just outside our garden. I have no idea what it's called. Basically, I went to a garden centre. I just said, look, it's going to be near the River Thames. The River Thames is just beyond those trees there. And so it needs to thrive in an area that might get flooded, probably will get flooded at some stage. So they've got this tree. No idea what it's called, but what I do know is that in autumn it goes this amazing, vivid red. And below it is that. So this is where, in the years to come, myself, but more importantly Ethan, can come back to and just go, there's Mum's tree, it's growing. And tomorrow, during the party, we're going to bury some of her ashes here. So there it is. Poignant, but beautiful. I remember a few weeks ago, there was a day like this, sun was shining, it was warm, and I was thinking about Gemma's party weekend. I thought, if it's like this, it's going to be amazing, obviously. But then I thought, if it's not, what do we do? Because we've got about 200 people coming. It's got bigger than I anticipated, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm really glad it's that big. But we'd hired a scout marquee, and the scouts are brilliant. You know, it's really cheap. And we had it last year for Gemma's 40th, but it's not really big enough if it lashes down. I panicked. I thought, what on earth do I do? Because I don't want people going home because they're getting wet. And I was really blatant. I put a tweet out because I was just panicking. I just said, look, if I wasn't expecting anything free, I thought maybe someone might be able to do me a deal because I've got to be a little bit careful with money now. I just said, look, I'm doing this. I need some help. Can anyone recommend a good marquee company? Within an hour, I had a message from my agent saying, you might want to read this email. It'll bring a smile to your face. And a company called the Brighton Marquee Company had got in touch and they said, we want to do it for you and we want to do it free. And you know what? In the last 6 months, that's been one of the recurring themes amidst the pain and the pain that people have shared with me about their own loss. is how kind people are. Do you know what? We live in such a cynical age. We see the worst in people way too often. I've seen so much of the best in people the last 6 months, and these guys kind of epitomise that. So I'm just going to walk over and show you what they're doing. They're just amazing guys. So here we go, the Brighton Market legends. There's the van, and here are the guys. Let's go and see if they want to talk to camera. They might not. They don't know I'm about to do this, but let's just see. They deserve a bit of camera time. So here we go. What's your name?
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Yes.
There he is. Gabriel's a legend.
Here he is.
There he
Thank
is.
you very much.
He's a legend. I've only known him 5 minutes, but I'm going to call him a legend anyway. What's your name? Where did you come from?
Jack from Brighton as well.
Are you actually a Brighton fan?
Nah, Arsenal fan.
You're not jumped on the bandwagon now?
Nah,
Brighton are good. No.
I actually don't really like Brighton.
Oh my! Don't say that.
No, don't put that in there.
Doesn't actually like Brighton. But at least he's. And this is Matt. He's the guy who came.
You all right?
So all right. You all right?
Yeah, all good.
How's it going?
Good.
Yeah. You a
Just
Brighton
cracking. Unfortunately not, no. Manchester United.
Oh, dear me.
Since '94.
Well, all right. I'll let you off. How old are you?
28.
Bandwagon. So here it is. Magnifico. And here it is. The guys have been and gone, and the amazing Jane Winking, who's a friend from Ethan's school, a mum that I've only really got to know over the last few weeks and months, but she is just amazing. She's a fashion designer, and a few weeks ago she said, look, if you need any help with the party, let me know. And this is basically her idea. So we've got all these pallets that we've decorated, and then we're going to have bales of hay around them with covers on that are arriving tomorrow, and people are going to sit on those. And it's still a long way off from being fully done, but you can see that it's really rather lovely. Honestly, people are so kind, so kind. Morning everyone, 7:10 a.m. and it is Saturday the 19th of May 2018, the day the entire nation has waited for with bated breath to see the events in Caversham unfold. Well, actually not the whole nation, but 200 people who are coming here to our garden later to gather and celebrate the life of Gemma, who would have been 41 tomorrow. And it does seem inconceivable that she's not here, but she's not. And I just wanted to embrace her life this weekend and celebrate with friends in the same kind of way that we celebrated 10 months ago in the garden. Not with a marquee that size, I might say. Her 40th birthday. And it was a day that was filled with love and laughter and happiness. It was a great evening. And I think today is also going to be a day of love and laughter and happiness, but underpinned by real sadness that she's not here. But I'm really glad we're doing this. I'm glad I took that decision all those months ago to turn that negative into a positive. It's been a lot of work. At times I've thought, what on earth am I doing? But I'm glad I'm doing it. And you know what? We can still watch the royal wedding. I probably won't. Nothing against Meghan or Harry. Just got a few things to do, but I wish them every happiness in the world. You know, someone on Instagram yesterday sent me a message, said, how on earth could you plan a party on the day of the royal wedding? How could you? Well, why wouldn't I? I don't know Harry or Meghan. And this is Gemma's birthday weekend, or would have been. So I'm doing it. I'm doing it. There may be one or two traffic problems at the M4 for people trying to get to Reading, but apart from that, it's all going to be fine. And I am glad we're doing it. I really am. And maybe time for one last little look round, and apologies that I do have a face this morning like a joiner's knee bag. I had all of about 3 hours sleep last night on the sofa. But it's fine. That for me is hashtag standard. Here we go. So before final preparations, a quick guided tour of the party in memory of lovely Gems. There's her tree, got some lanterns around it. She's going to light later tonight just so it glows in the darkness. Light in the darkness. There it is again. And we go around here. Here are the standard Portaloos. By the way, A1 Luhar in Wokingham. The one on the right absolutely stinks. And no one's even troubled it yet, but already it is humming and the sun is yet to even trouble its top. So there could be real problems there a little bit later. Look forward to that. I shall be using the ones in the house. Guests, you go there. And here's the marquee. Thomas states the obvious once again. I should just say a massive thank you to someone called Jane. Jane is a mum at our school where Ethan goes. And I didn't know Jane a few weeks ago, but over the last few weeks, along with lots of other people at our school, I've got to know her. And she's a fashion designer. She's someone who designs bags. She's very, very creative. And she said to me a few weeks ago, she said, look, if you want any help with the party, let me know. And about 5 weeks ago, I realised it was getting very, very big. I just sent her a WhatsApp message saying, help. And boy, did she help. She basically has come up with the design, this whole idea of just getting some pallets, some straw bales around them, and just the whole look of the marquee is just stunning. It's all her idea. Thomas would never come up with an idea like this. Candles on the table. There's the bar area, which is great. Thomas doesn't drink anymore. Well, most of the time I don't. So I'm looking forward to watching everyone guzzling the bubbly, and I just enjoy an orange juice. Not bitter at all. And again, this is all Jane's ideas. This is the table we've got. Just to remember Gemma, we have a book on there, just so people can just write down their memories of Gemma. There it is. All Jane's ideas. Just looks absolutely brilliant. And there's going to be a lot of straw everywhere later, let's be honest. It's going to look like basically a herd of cows have come in. Not calling any of my guests cows, by the way. Let's just establish that as Thomas once again slips into partridge, inevitably. And out we go. I'm not going to show you where cars park, but I just thought I'd show you a little Thomas touch on the tree. One of his few touches away from Winking working her wonders. Jane's surname's Winking, by the way. I've called it Winking's Wonders. And there it is. So stand by for what I think will be a very emotional, but a very special day. Sunday evening, 20th of May, 2018, the day after the day before. And what an amazing day it was. Around about 200 family and friends gathered here yesterday afternoon. It was so special. It was ruddy hard. I've never been so run off my feet. I think the only disappointing thing of the whole day is that I never really got to spend longer than about a minute with anybody, because there were just so many people there and lots of things to do. But you know, the most poignant moment of the afternoon came at 4 o'clock when we all gathered around the tree that we planted for Gemma here. 200 of us, family and friends and work colleagues, and just reflected for a moment on Gemma's life and also the last few weeks. I just wanted to share with you a little bit of what I said. I talked about the rocky road that is grief, how that actually is a path that only you can walk, only Ethan can walk. His walk will be different to mine, but it's the same thing at the heart of it. It's missing Mum, it's missing my wife. But that walk is laced with landmines. I've never had to walk this road before. I hope none of you at this time in life ever have to walk it either, but I know that some of you watching this will have done, and sadly, some of you, but I hope and I pray you won't, may have to in the future. But I spoke about how difficult it is to walk, but also it's a path that's made more difficult by the fact there are landmines everywhere, things you're not expecting, things you've never had to deal with before. I just apologise for getting some things wrong, and just thanked everybody for their incessant love and support, for not giving up on me, for not giving up on Ethan. I knew they wouldn't, but you know, this is tough for everybody. It's obviously most tough for us, but for our friends and our family. You know, Gemma's left a massive gap in our lives. So I talked about that, I thanked them. And I actually thank you guys who are watching this, who supported me from afar. It has meant an awful lot. I then talked about what I've learned about grief in these first 6 months, and it'll be 6 months this coming Thursday since she went. And that is this. I kind of understood grief that over time is a healer. But you know what I don't think it is? What actually time is something that changes things when you go through something like this. Because you know what? The gap that Gemma has left in my life looks something like that. It's a lot bigger than that. And the thinking, I think, in the past has been that over time, that just does that. But you know what? I said yesterday afternoon, if it does that, that means that day by day, week by week, year by year, I'm going to miss Gemma less. And that's simply not going to happen. I'm never going to miss her less. Ethan is never going to miss her less. Wendy, her mum, is never going to miss her less. Rebecca, her sister, is never going to miss her less. Her dad and her closer family and friends, it's not going to change. What changes, I think, is life around it. Life begins to grow around what you're going through. And so that hole is never really filled, but things begin to change around you and new people come into your life, which they have done. Experiences change. You start to do new things. Life does begin bit by bit to change, and in a better way. The third thing I said was this, which is kind of related to this one, was simply this. A lot of people have talked about reading the book Option B, which just from reading a few pages, I can tell is a simply brilliant book. And it's not a criticism of the book at all, but a lot of people have kept saying to me, Option B, read it, read it, read it. And it's kind of come into my mind that somehow, having gone through this, having lost Gemma, life can never, ever be the same again. It can never be as good again. It can never be the same again. But actually, I've come to realise that life can be as good again, because Plan B, by its very nature, I'm not talking about the book, just talking about Plan B, by its very nature, is the second best. It's the plan you put in place in case Plan A doesn't work. But it's never the intended plan. It's the second best plan. And you know, my relationship with Ethan is better than ever before. It's stronger than ever before. It's more profound than it has ever been. Our love and the bond between us is stronger than it's ever been because of what's happened. That's not a Plan B relationship. That's Plan A. So why can't holidays, why can't experiences, actually, if I do meet someone in the future, why can't it be a Plan A relationship? Why can't it be a Plan A holiday? Why can't it be a Plan A experience? It might not be. I might be being way too optimistic, but that's what I'm going to aim for. That actually, I'm going to chase down Option A again. It's never, ever, ever going to be the same. But maybe, just maybe, it can be as good. And that does give me hope. So this is me signing off at the end of an amazing weekend, emotionally draining, but I'm so, so glad I did it. And I will never, ever forget it. Ethan will never forget it. My family will never forget the moment those friends and the family gathered around that tree yesterday afternoon at 4 o'clock and celebrated the life of the irreplaceable, the unmissable, and the unique Gemma, who I will love forever. God bless. Enjoy your week. Laters.